Good evening, everybody. It's another live episode on a Wednesday night of the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan Fulford, Kelvin Rozier, Marcus.
What up,
Green,
yo?
Somewhere out on assignment. Hopefully, I'm not sure. Did Marcus say he was joining us tonight, or what was the story there?
That's what we call it, out on assignment, or playing hooky.
Well,
That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know if he's gonna make it second half or not.
Okay.
I don't think we got clarity on that.
No clarity. No clarity. All right. Well, it's good. Huh?
I was just gonna say you've been leading into it. It'd be like two of our scheduled guests.
Yeah. You know, we got all kinds of folks canceling on us. You know, we're not used to that. You know, we don't get too many folks that cancel on us, but it is what it is. I don't know. Maybe we put the link to join the show in the chat and let people come join the show. It is JSU week.
Yes.
Hashtag beat JSU. Everybody put, you know, if you want to see the Rattlers get a win, put hashtag beat JSU. I need everybody right now to retweet this link. If you're watching it on YouTube, Facebook, on Twitter, I need all the Rattler Nation to retweet and just put hashtag beat JSU. That's all I need y'all to do right now. You know? They coming to Bragg Memorial. It's been the last time they came was what? The first year of the Simmons era, wasn't it?
Yes. What was that, about 2018 or 19, right?
Yeah. It's been 2018 and the infamous final play mishap where, you know, we forgot to spike the ball or whatever happened. And had we spiked the ball, we would have beat them. Probably, but we would have had the opportunity to beat them because we would have been able to run the field goal unit out there. But anyway, needless to say, you know. But anyway, looking forward to a good week. It's good to be back. I gotta first off give a shout out to Keith Hadley, to you, Kelvin, Tashay, and Ashley. I had a hell of a time. I enjoyed just being a fan and watching you guys talk about the show, man. It warmed my heart. I told y'all this privately, but I'm gonna say it publicly. I felt like all of the hard work that goes into kind of trying to make this show happen without, you know, because that's when you know you got a good show. When the show when next man up and the show can roll on without you. And man, y'all did a great job. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, you know, Keith did a great job as I called him Keith Petty, you know, kind of like QB1 stepping in there and, you know, man, slinging the rock with his own style and flavor. And Keith did a great job, man. You know, I feel comfortable. Should there be another week coming up anytime soon that, you know, man, Keith can step in and handle the QB1 duties, man. He did a great job, man. And so
it was a lot of fun. And I love that young energy. You know, they bring in their own style and spin, but you know, they also bring in some fresh thoughts, ideas. And I love the educational theme because we always talk about on our show, we're here to educate and to tie in the educational themes. Of course, we had a couple of teachers on also, but it was a lot of fun, man. And yeah, they're great. And we definitely will have them on more often.
Most definitely. So a great job. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't get a chance to catch the show live on Monday night, it's available not only on our feed, but I know it's available on our YouTube feed. It's also available on the Fangs Up podcast feed. You can go even watch it on the BCSN Pod Zone. All of the podcasts that are part of the Black College Sports Network, BCSN Pod Zone, on your favorite Pod Zone podcast apps and everything like that. And I echo these sentiments exactly, Marcus. I mean, you know, it's kind of refreshing to hear Tashay and Ashley. I mean, they know football, you know. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. So, you know, if you were one of those people that that thought that women can't talk football, well, you were sadly mistaken. I mean, we got some talented ladies that cover FAMU football and love FAMU, and they know what the hell they're talking about. So that was good stuff. It was great stuff. So
hubba.
Yeah, you make sure to check them out tomorrow. You can catch Keith Fangs Up podcast on Thursday, and then I think that's about 8:00 Eastern,
right.
And then about 9:00 Eastern, Fang Exchange is where you can catch Ashley and Tasha. So it's like a doubleheader on Thursday night. So we got to keep that train rolling. Yeah, you know what? Thank you. I'm kind of live watching, and Emmett just said, we're in the midst of the sports equinox right now, Kelvin. So my mind is everywhere. We got college football happening. We got the Major League Baseball season happening. We got the NBA happening.
Pro football's
going on. Hockey. We're in the midst of the World Series.
All the college sports.
Yeah.
Basketball, college basketball starting up. Yep.
Yeah, this is the sports equinox, as they like to call it.
High school football playoffs.
High school playoffs. Florida starting up next
week.
Mm-hmm. Next week, and just a lot of stuff going on. But I was kind of peeping over my shoulder here over the computer screen. It's like, okay, already the Dodgers are already down 2-0, and I'm like, oh Lord have mercy. I'm glad I stayed away from that first inning, no score. I'm just glad I stayed away from that. But anyway, if you know, you know. But okay, so we got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to give. It's kind of hard. You can see I got the chats rolling, so I may have missed a few people. I don't know when I kicked it in and started it, but I'll probably just kind of run through a few names and say hello, as we always like to do at the beginning of the show. Jimmy Mack coming in, first one in on a Wednesday. Miak fan checking in. Good to see you. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, he changed his name. Jimmy's like, oh, that's me. Okay, Jimmy in there playing with two computer screens, I guess. I don't know, good stuff. Kevin Butler checking in. Good to see you, Kevin.
Kevin Roger Daha.
Marvin Allen checking in. Good to see you. Let's see. Willia 38 checking in.
What's going on?
Yeah, go ahead and get them prayers going now. Light them candles. Light a candle. Whatever your prayer routine is, get it going. B Starks. Good to see B Starks. Bumped into B Starks and Makiba West out in NOLA, out just about a block away from the French Quarter. So it's good to see some Rattlers.
Hurricane.
I did not. and honestly, I'll tell you why. I had flashbacks to the last time I was hanging out. The last time, now I was about 20 plus years younger, and I was rolling with the boys, And let's just say this time I was out walking by myself, and I didn't want to be, I had to be able to report the duty the next day. I got one warning when I got on the bus, Kelvin.
What's that?
Don't be late. Hey, Cap told Albert, said, make sure he knows the rules. And I kind of looked at him, what's the rule? I said, oh, don't be late, huh? He said, yep, that's the rule. Don't be late. I said, oh, you ain't to worry about me. So in the back of my head, I like, man, don't get out here and lose yourself out here. I'm on assignment. I'm here working.
There you go. Because it can do it to you now.
Yeah, I ain't be a casualty. I ain't want to be on video talking about, hey, here's this Rattler hung out, slooped down on the corner of Bourbon Street. Nah, I didn't want to be that guy. So, I was just walking off the good meal that I had, and I forgot how wild it is. It's wild and debaucherous. I had to get back to the hotel room and say a prayer. That's all I had to do. So
you could have went to one of the corner churches.
I did pass by one. But I think that was even closed. I think it was closed. The church said, man, I got to close up. I think that was who was that? Was that folks? Y'all in here changing your name. Shout out to Liv. Liv's in here. Folks in the chat changing names. What are y'all doing? Okay. All right. There's Makiba. Shout out. Mary 305 checking in.
Hey, Auntie.
Being a JBN subscriber. Hey, you know what? Liv, I'm telling you now while you're in. Next week, we gotta have you on. We gotta do basketball talk next Wednesday, Liv. So I already hit Liv up about coming on Sunday on the Sunday night show to kind of talk about some HBCU talk in general. But if you're still watching, Liv, check the DMs out. Tamara T. Yeah, I noticed
Tamara T.
It's hard. Everybody's getting a new ID now. Is YouTube doing something different now? They're putting all these different numbers. Yeah, look at all the names. Everybody's got different tags and stuff. Shout out to Ashton. Marcus checking in. Good to see you, Marcus. Thanks for being a JBN subscriber.
Yeah.
I don't know. AWMS.
Big brother's watching you.
Yeah, Gail. Good to see you, Gail. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber as well. There he is. Keith Petty, I like to call him, checking in. Good to see you. Thank you for checking in. Good to see Tony checking in. See, I tell you, they're changing everybody's name. JT in the house. Little baby in there.
Hey, big little baby.
Yeah. Campbell in here. Big game week indeed.
What's going on, Jacktown?
Ron Jab in the house.
What's up, Jab?
Erie Young checking in.
What's up, Erie?
Drea 349.
Give us an update if you got one on that Florida State FAMU softball game too.
Yeah, softball has been rolling right now. I think we won the 2 games last week. 1 game this week, kind of 3-0 heading into this game against Florida State today.
Convincingly too.
Yeah. James is dropping some breaking news. I don't know what that's all about. We know there was a story that was recently posted there on the Rattler Nation blog spot. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that tonight. Maybe not. I don't know. Good to see you. Last Sellers 14. Okay. Checking in from Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you, Keith. Reminding people, hit the like, share, subscribe, thumbs up button, all that stuff. Will Wallace, you putting some money on it, huh? Put some money on it. Don't come in talking without putting some money on it, baby. That's all I'm gonna say. Put your money where your mouth is. Otherwise, it's all talk. Watch JD TV checking in. Ezekiel Love, good to see you. All right. Appreciate everybody. We got people out, other people in the SWAC, rooting for, people outside of, there's a lot of rooting interest for FAMU, especially from Alabama State folks. They're going to be rooting for the Rattlers this weekend, obviously. Good stuff. If I missed somebody, I apologize to you. I see Chuck Hunt. There he is, checking out. Good to see you, Chuck. Checking in. Mike Road Dog Reed. Checking in. Good stuff.
GT. Yeah, Karen Griffin.
Joe Thomas checking in. Karen Griffin. Larry Sargent checking in. All right. Good to see you.
EA.
All right. Shaco in the house. All right. Bull in there. Okay, thank you. See, they changed the name. That Kevin Butler, that's Bull. Okay, see, yeah, but YouTube is changing everybody's name, so just be aware of that. I don't know. Jesus,
I just saw a Bull put. And you might need to be changing your own.
Man, look. Okay. Well, Kel, what are we gonna start with, man? What are we gonna start with? As I'm trying to catch myself up. I gotta get used to being in the chair again and leading the ship.
Well, you didn't have a chance to talk about your take of the Southern football game. So why don't you go ahead and give your thoughts?
Well, so the biggest observation I had was, and I brought this up several times during the radio call, when we could force them into 3 and outs, we were good. I mean, the first 2 drives were long drives, right? I don't have the box score pulled up, but the long drives, 70, 80-yard drives. Then we turned around and got them 3 and out. And that was a consistent theme where we would get them off the field 3 and out. But if we didn't get them in that first 10 yards, if we couldn't get them off the field in the first 10 yards, they matriculated down the ball. They matriculated down the field on us. And that was their first 4 scoring drives. But it was a mix of 3 and outs or long 10, 11 play drives. So that was the kind of frustrating part to watch after the first 10. Man, our defense, we give up 30 points a game. It's very hard to live when you have to rely on shootouts.
All right.
But, is that who we are? Is that what we're going to have to live on? I mean, it possibly is, and I know you guys talked about the in-game adjustments. I was glad to see a little bit of that, better late than never. So that did occur. But offensively, what was encouraging but also frustrating is still at times the penalties that take points off the board still seem to, grab us almost more than maybe dropped or missed opportunities. I don't know if you did an analysis at the end of the year, or at least up to this point, and said, which is killing us more on offense? Is it the penalties that are taking points off the board, or is it the either drop passes or overthrown balls or missed plays that could be scoring plays? I bet it's about 50-50 at this point, and so again, we're thankful we've got Daniel Porto. I saw Tashe rolling the R's. That was nice. And I forgot what was the nickname she gave him, but that should stick. That nickname, because I finally had a chance to meet him or kind of just shake his hand, and Albert Chester and we kind of got a chance to watch the walkthrough prior to the Southern game. And he's a big kid. He's got some nice size on him. For a kicker, he looks like an athlete. Most kickers you might think are kind of small and thin. No, Daniel Porto looks like he might have played something else. Like he might have played another position. So when you see him booming these kicks, it's legit. It's legit. And I think that's a great weapon going into this week. And so I was just extremely happy to see us. Look, what I tell you, Kevin, the 1 week I didn't make a prediction about a 100-yard rusher.
You get one.
We get one. So
did you see Carlos?
Yes. Got a chance to see Carlos. Happy birthday, and shout out to Carlos Brown. Had a birthday. It was either yesterday or today. I don't even remember.
Did you see Edwin Moore?
I did not see. Okay, so here's the thing. I went to the press box, and I never came out of the press box because I didn't know where I was going. I'm following Albert Chester. Albert knows where he's going because he's been to Southern before. So Albert is, he goes in, he went to the press box, and, that's kind of where he hangs out. Sure, I didn't even see Tashay. Tashay was apparently one floor below where we were. Didn't even know she was there. I saw Mo Carter. Got a chance to meet Pete Richardson. I think I shared that on Instagram. Saw. We got a chance to chop it up with the Southern broadcast crew, the radio crew. Of course, Pete Richardson, who the field is named after there at A.W. Mumford. He's part of the radio crew. It's kind of interesting hearing that perspective because we have our own issues that we talk about. It's always interesting when you get a chance to kind of hear another team's issues and then you just come away saying, man, their issues sound
similar.
They sound similar, but they're a little bit different because they're a little further off the ledge than we are. I just say it like that. They're a little further off the edge, trying to figure out who's going to be next, whereas we go into this week with the belief and a shot, and the reality is we have an opportunity in front of us.
Right.
It's a whole different place. What 2 wins will do to you. It's amazing what winning will do. Just 2 weeks ago, think about where we were 2 weeks ago versus where we are today.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. But good stuff, man. I had a good time. Edwin. Edwin's funny. Look, Edwin, I don't know if there was anybody. I don't know if there was enough in attendance to do all that, Edwin. Been like that. The attendance, the Southern folks were a little unhappy with where things were. There was some weather that we rolled into that followed us all the way from New Orleans into town. And, I just had Southern folks saying by, that hour and a half, they were even amazed at how there was very little tailgating, Kelvin. There was like nobody out in the parking lot. Practically
that's
no
unheard of.
That's what everyone kept saying. That's how they knew it was going to be a thin crowd because they said, man, nobody was there. I know the reported attendance numbers was 17, but I would say probably 10,000 came through the turnstiles. So, yeah,
and about 3,000-4,000 was Rattlers.
Good crowd of Rattlers. Were behind the FAMU on the FAMU side, which actually turned into when the sun finally decided to show up. By the start of kickoff, the Rattlers were in the sun. It was kind of fitting, man. It was kind of fitting. 17,000 bought tickets. Okay. Yeah, 17 bought tickets, but probably only 10,000 showed. You couldn't get those tickets away, I imagine. You could have, but you probably didn't even try. So, but yeah, good stuff, man. I tell you, there's a lot of bus riding, though. I'll tell you, man. I that's all I'm on. And let me publicly give a shout out to not just the organization that goes into traveling. I mean, very well organized, 4 buses. You got I think it was the offense had a bus, defense had a bus, special teams, and then the support staff. I was on the support staff bus with all with Dolph and his people for the equipment, and then the any of the training staff people were there. Some great student athletes, great students, and then of course, just a well-run machine. Coach Jennifer Santiago, they do it. She does a great job of kind of organizing it, and so that when we get there, it's like a well-oiled machine, man. You get there, you drop off, boom, 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 boom. And I was really impressed, man. The I don't know. Edwin said bus rides are good drinking time. I don't know. I don't think buses aren't made for people over 6 feet. I'm gonna just tell you that. If you're 6 feet or taller, buses ain't fun. Buses are not fun. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Now, If you 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", I mean, you might be okay on a bus. But once you get over 6 feet, buses are not fun. They're not fun. So trust me, I was on a lot of Advil and a lot of stretching and sleeping. That's all I could do to not worry about the pain in my knees, just sleeping. But yeah, so good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. Yeah, so there we go. Shout out to the folks who are just coming in. What does that Tony say? What is this? What do you say? What do we think about
the LSU situation?
Oh, well,
we got our own problems.
Yeah, we got our own problems. Yeah. You know what? You're probably right, Chuck. I didn't even think about the fact that, why we stayed in New Orleans. Yes, there was a LSU game going on at the same time. So, yeah, I didn't even think about it. But we didn't lose anybody. We didn't lose anybody out on Bourbon Street, which, you kind of worry about that kind of stuff. Nobody got lost. Everybody got on the bus who was supposed to get on the bus.
See,
Christ,
they don't have to worry. They don't have to worry about it now. Now, when Ron Jab Williams was on the team, I ain't gonna tell no secrets.
You ain't gonna tell no secrets. They might not have stopped in New Orleans, huh? Is that what you're saying?
Ooh, boy, I'm just saying, curfew was tough.
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't even think about all that. It was crazy. I guess, I don't know, maybe everything was just so well regimented and time planned that I don't know if the guys had time to even think about walking around and doing anything else other than being in the meetings that you were supposed to be in, getting the treatment that you needed to get, and so on and so forth. So Ryan said, don't put me out there like that, Kelvin. Don't put me out there like that. All right, there are the scores from last week, just overall. Kelvin, what's your impressions of the big upset from last week? Grambling, which, by the way, speaking of that, we were on the bus. So after our game finished, that was the first thing. By the time we got to the bus, right in the middle of the fourth quarter. And so the few of us on the support staff, we instantly were going to the phones to watch the end of this game. And it was right as Jackson State would go up and score their 24th point and go up 24-23. And then, of course, we all saw the injury to Savion T-Set and everything. And good to hear that he is doing a little bit better. But what's your impressions of that game, Kelvin?
Yeah, I actually watched that game, most of it, and then I went and watched the replay. And sometimes teams just seem to have a team's number, and that's what Grambling seems to have with JSU. No matter what's going on, what the records are, they find a way. JSU jumped out 10-0, and you thought, hey, they finna separate early, and then, they had the injury and they kind of stalled, and Grambling found their footing, got some stops, and then they made some plays. And if you watch JSU this season, they leave the door open sometimes. I think about to the first game against Hampton when it was 14-14 in the fourth quarter. So, sometimes they do leave teams in games, and they tend to separate in the second half. And this time in the second half, they found themselves down by 13 going into the fourth, and they didn't have their field general. And it makes a difference. They have that grad student who seen it and did it all. Mm-hmm. It's just different when you have that coach on the field and that calming force that everybody believes in. So I thought the injury, of course, was huge, but Grambling competed. They don't fear Jackson, and they seem to come up with a good game plan every year. So kudos to them. I was impressed with the freshman, the second freshman QB who came in, the true freshman.
On the last drive for Jackson State?
Yeah, the drive down and scored the 2 touchdowns and them to get the lead. That was, but Grambling didn't game plan for him. So it'll be interesting if he has to go this year. I mean, this week. It'll be interesting to see what the offense look like, but they still have the the defense, and we'll talk more about it. But it was a very good game. I love the game. Couple of injuries in that game though. T-set injury. Pray that's all that he's recovering and have a full recovery and all is well with him. Same with Jacobian, whatever his situation is. Hope he have a full recovery. You want to see teams that they full strength, but good crowd. Looked like it was a good event, man. So
almost 30,000. Yeah,
I love the product that they put on display.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Vegas organizers do with this. Do they double down and try to go with some different blue bloods? Do they try to bring one of these two back next year along with another blue blood? Because I don't know about you, Kelvin, but I really feel like for Vegas, there's only a handful of schools that can really bring that 30,000 to 40,000 kind of crowd to a football game.
And I think they understand. I think they understand that too. And I would tell you that one of the people locally behind it, who's I think been a part of the commission. I don't know if he's on the commission still, but he's a influence. He's a Grambling grad. So
I heard that.
So I'm sure Grambling will be a part of it for a minute. And they probably want JSU back, but I know that they're interested in FAMU, if not JSU. So at some point, I would imagine we'll get approached too.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I hope we get a shot. I would have loved to. So, we'll talk about this later with Doc. And we talked about this on the Sunday night show. I've never been to Vegas, but, there are considerable debates happening in different places about how this might, and I use the word might in capital letters, might affect them. Because it is not normal. And for anybody to try to tell you it is selling themselves and selling you some wolf tickets. So how they overcome the travel, the atmosphere, the time change, and then getting on the road and going on another trip the other direction. I'm not saying it can't be done, not saying it is hard. I'm not saying it's easy. It just is something to take into to just observe. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Maybe it doesn't have an effect. I would tend to think if it has an effect, it might show itself in the first half of the game. I don't know. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. Just looking at a couple other scores of note, I don't know anything caught your eye, Kelvin, outside of the blowout by Alabama State, which I did not see that kind of blowout happening. Bethune-Cookman has scored over 30 points in 6 straight weeks.
Yeah.
Over 30 in 6 straight weeks. That's pretty scary, pretty impressive.
They back.
Yeah, they back. They are definitely back.
They like the Undertaker.
The players of the week. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can, so everybody can see that. Take that off for a second. Of course, T-Set and Andrew Body. T-Set even before he got hurt, had already scored 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 running, and at that point, he was leading Grambling on what would eventually be a go-ahead drive. And then, of course, Andrew Body, 6 total touchdowns, 5 of them passing. Just ridiculous numbers. But there you go. Daniel Porto for the second consecutive week, specialist of the week. And the second week that a Rattler has been the newcomer of the week, Jamal Haley. 150 something net yards and 3 touchdowns, including a 56-yard touchdown run, the longest touchdown run of the season.
Yeah, and a couple of them was untouched. I saw some of the best blocking I've seen, as we said on the show Monday, both from the tight end wide receiver spot as well as the line. Those guys stayed engaged. They did a really, really strong job for the most part. Yeah.
Little Baby. I love that. Look at Little Baby coming up with the nickname. Haley's Comic.
That's good. Woo! That is good.
I love that, Little Baby. I may have to use that on the broadcast. I'll try to give you a shout out if I remember. But if you hear me say Haley's Comet, is flying through Bragg. Just know that's for you.
That's good stuff, Little Baby.
That's good stuff. I like that, Little Baby. Good job. So there we go with the standings. You got for somewhat in some, for just the purposes of the stats, you got a 3-way tie in the East. Of course, Jackson beat Alabama State. Alabama State beat Bethune. Bethune and Jackson State still have not played. And of course, we have not played Jackson State, who we play Saturday, or Bethune yet. So, still some drama left in the East. No matter what somebody else, still drama left in the East. No matter what some people may say, still some drama.
Florida, in other words, Florida still got something to say in this thing.
Florida still has something to say. Somehow, some way, Florida still has something to say, for sure. Over on the West Side, Prairie View sitting unbeaten. Is it this? I don't. Hold on. Is it this week? Is this week the game?
Yes.
With
Alabama State.
So big game coming up. And number one, tied for number one in the East versus number one in the West.
Where the line?
That game is where? Where's that game? Prairie View?
Prairie View.
Woo! Hey,
what was Coach buying tickets?
Is he buying tickets? I would not be surprised.
No, he put out a video. He's buying 100 tickets. He tried to not embarrass the people by saying those folks who were impacted by the the shutdown and everything. So up to 100, he'll buy the tickets. But at the end of the day, he already said, "Where the line? Where the line?"
All right, we'll talk about the upcoming schedule here a little bit later in the show. Let's take our first break. Come back. Let's talk a little basketball and volleyball. Coming up at the top of hour 2, Doc Holliday of HBCU Overdrive will be joining the show. Of course, Doc is he's a JSU guy, but he does a great job of covering all HBCUs and the SWAC. So we had to make a change up this year in our in bringing on our Jackson State guest.
But no, we'll talk to you after the game, Charles.
After the game, exactly. Charles is probably like, "Oh, what? Y'all didn't want to invite me on the show?" And say, "Nah, we've done too much losing with Charles."
He's bad luck. Yeah, he's bad luck. Got to switch it up.
So Doc Holliday will be coming up at the top of the hour. The top of hour 2 here at 9:00 Eastern, 8 Central. But let's come back after this break, kind of talk about what's been going on with volleyball. Got our first weekend sweep of the season, or not quite weekend, but our first sweep on the road. So it's a good sign. And then we'll talk some preseason basketball exhibition games, men and women basketball on the other side. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6:00 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora. as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a state, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
College football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan and Kelvin here. Good to be on with you. All right, we talked about this being the sports equinox. Is definitely a busy week for FAMU athletics. I mean, again, coming from out of Saturday into Sunday, volleyball Sunday and Monday. You got basketball exhibition over at Florida State. Then you had the cross country championships in Tallahassee on Monday. The women had an exhibition game on Tuesday. So
softball on Monday and today against Florida State.
Yeah, so I mean a busy season. But let's talk about the event, the game, which featured the Charlie Ward jersey retirement ceremony. And I gotta say, I'm extremely excited and thankful that this game was broadcast on the ACC network. You get a chance to go to this, Kelvin?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
Set the scene and let the people who, obviously we got a chance to, before we even talk about the game, talk about the atmosphere and the environment if you can.
It was a great environment. It was a real community event. FSU, outside of when they play, Duke or North Carolina and ACC play at home, those games be sell out close to it. But outside of that, an exhibition game typically, they'd be glad to have 2,000 people in there. It was I would venture to say probably around 8,000 in there, and it was probably 60% Florida State, 40% FAMU, and people were really excited, and it was a great atmosphere. And I think what the community saw, and all the ADs were there, all the dignitaries were there, all the politicians, the board folks, everybody was there. I think what they realized is it's good for the community, and there's money to be made off a regular season matchup with these two teams. So it would not shock me if this become a regular annual clash, just like our women play in basketball, and it needs to be.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the storyline, it was just impeccable with Charlie, our head coach, getting his jersey retired in basketball because he's already retired in football. And then
first Florida State athlete, right?
The only.
Okay, yeah, that's a better clarification.
Yeah. And then you see his mom and dad, who are Rattlers, proudly representing FAMU on the court with him. It was just great, man. It was a great atmosphere. The hospitality there was great in terms of, how everybody was on their good behavior, and it was I'm glad it happened. So now, all these people who push these other narratives, they, all right, quiet's down now. It's just game against competitors.
Yeah, it's just a basketball. I don't know. Some people will say it's more than just a basketball game, Kelvin. At the end of the day, I thought the messaging from Coach Ward and Coach was it Louts over at Florida State. I was watching their press conference, their presser a day or two before, and I mean the messaging it was positive, but at the end of the day, it's still a basketball game. Two teams trying to get themselves ready for the start of the season, which is Monday, and so I think that was a positive. You mentioned that there was 8,000. You thought what is the Civic Center seat normally?
Around 12.
12, okay.
12.
And they added
12,
suites. 12. I remember back in the day,
that's including all that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they do have suites though, I guess now,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. I remember back in the day they did not. So, but okay. But that was cool. That was good to see everybody there. And it was hard to tell where the FAMU contingent was as I was watching it, but you could hear the crowd, the fam, especially when FAM made some good plays, especially when FAMU had a good little run in the second half. And the first half, I thought kind of getting into the game here, the first 10 minutes of the first half was a mix of nerves and competitiveness on both sides. It was probably the most even the game was, because I went back and I was watching it up until, or let me say, at the last 10 minutes of the first,
the last 10 minutes of the first half is when the game changed, and that's also when the foul discrepancy changed.
Yeah, because we were down. Yeah, we were down 20-19.
Yep.
With 9:41 to play. And what's crazy is we had two different opportunities to take the lead, which I wonder what that place would have been like had we actually got over the hump and grabbed the lead in that game, right? But we were like right there. And then all of a sudden, Florida State pulls away from us on an 11-0 run before we even get our next bucket.
And it was probably eight of those points came from the free throw line.
Yes, they did. And there you see the final score. And then by the time you looked up in the final, so they closed the game essentially on a 25-5 run. That's how the game, because again,
in the second,
20
in the second half,
they closed the second half. The last 9 minutes and 40-something seconds was a 25-6 run.
Just didn't make shots. Yeah. You just couldn't make shots. We had some good looks, just didn't make shots that game. And the most comical and best part of the game to me was when the referee gave Charlie a tick.
I saw that.
It was hilarious because everybody knows Coach Ward is not the demonstrative guy. You know he don't curse. So he really couldn't have done too much to deserve a tech. And then the fact that he get a tech on his first game, exhibition game as a coach, when his mom and dad and his jersey's been retired. I mean, it was just. But that's how the game got called in the last 10 minutes of the first
was
half.
there any? I saw the quotes. I think from Vaughn's article on HBCU Game Day. Like you said, he doesn't curse. I can't even imagine what he could have said that would have got him a technical.
So I asked him.
Oh,
and
okay.
Some of the folks. I didn't really get an answer though. I got that. I got a bit chuckle and laugh, but I didn't really get an answer.
Is it possible that it was somebody else on the bench? Like, because a coach will get a head coach will get because trust me, I have been an assistant coach and said something that got a technical called on a head coach, and it's like, oops, my bad. I didn't think you heard that.
Well, I'll just say this, and I heard this sentiment. I would tell you in the stands, and my understanding, some of their players and coaches said it after the game. That last 8-9 minutes of that first half, they doubled. Up until the end, the foul description was about 2 or 3. But that last 9 minutes of that first half, we had double the fouls that they had, a little over that, a double, I think. And the game was definitely called differently. And so coach was, engaging the ref because it really was like one ref in particular. He was engaging the ref. I mean, asking them questions because there was a lot of questionable calls, to be frank. But he, in his own quiet way, he was kneeling down by the scorer's table. And I guess the referee, that particular referee, just had in his mind that it was a good idea to ring coach up, and he got booed.
Oh, definitely should got
by everybody,
Florida State fans included.
Yes.
You deserve that, Mr. Referee, whoever you are. Maybe you don't get invited back to Tallahassee for any games this year. I mean, come on, man. An exhibition game, and he must not have been there for the pregame ceremonies. He must not have known what was happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how do you give a tech? I mean, not even a warning, not even a bench warning. I mean, come on. And the man done cuss. So I'm like, what are you doing here?
Right.
Got to give a shout out to Tyler Shirley, who had a great night.
He got game. Yes.
25.7 rebounds in 34 minutes. For those of you who may not be familiar with Tyler, he's a Gary, Indiana kid, transfer from Clayton State. I believe he is. Let's see. He's one of the returners from last season. But he didn't play because he was hurt. Yeah, he only played 3 games last year. I'm looking at the stats from last year.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a 6'8" forward, and he showed up.
Absolutely,
he
can play inside and out.
Yeah. Jaquan Sanders had 9.7 assists. Looked good. Micah Octave had 6 points and 6 rebounds. And Anquan Bolden Jr., 7 boards.
Yeah. And we still didn't play a couple of guys.
Sure.
A 7-footer. We bringing them along slowly, coming off a ACL injury. He's fine. He's practicing everything, but they're going to take their time incorporating them in. So he's not getting game. He didn't get in a game action. And then there's another player who will be at some point hopefully introduced into the lineup too. Yeah.
All right. So a good debut or good end. Rattlers go, get some good work. 1-1 in the exhibition and the 2 exhibition games. Of course, reminding everybody, especially that's the home schedule. So the first home game is actually November 8th. I believe that's November 8th against Kennesaw State. Yep, that's a Saturday. So that's a Saturday. So that's a 1 o'clock Saturday. But the home opener, or excuse me, the season opener is Monday in Tampa against USF. So I'm trying to figure out, damn, that's a tough one, Kelvin, because I'm supposed to be going to practice that night. I'm supposed to be doing a show that night. All these things are happening, man, I don't know. Can I do a show from South Florida in their media room? Because I know where the media room is, and it's usually unbothered, untouched. And I'm wondering if something has to sacrifice, Kelvin. In order for me to be at this game, something has to sacrifice. Either practice or the show. Practice? We talking about practice? Yeah. I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna make this work. There's too much going on. But anyway, for those of you who are gonna be in the Tampa or Central Florida Rattlers, head on over to South Florida Monday night against the Bulls. 8 p.m. Eastern is the first tip. Is the tip-off to the season. So let's have a good crowd out there. The women team had an exhibition game on Tuesday at home against Valdosta State. We talked to Coach Gordon a couple of weeks ago about that, and what didn't get off to a good start. But it's an exhibition game, so we're not going to worry too much. But what's your observations on what you saw in that game, Kelvin?
First half, she rotated a lot of players in and out. Valdosta had a point guard that was really, really athletic, really, really quick, very fundamentally sound too. Valdosta State Division II, they went 30-3 2 years ago. Last year they had a winning record, but they were more middle of the pack. So they have some players, they have some athletes, but in terms of our team, I would have liked to see us finish in the paint more. We were a longer team, and we missed too many gimmies in the middle, I thought. And then also we didn't have a bunch of turnovers from the point guard position, but a lot of times when we were passing, I thought we overpassed, and we also was telegraphing our passes, and our ladies inside, they fumbled the ball a lot, right, when they did get the passes. So just need to clean up. And then the one thing that I did not like, though, hustle. We got out hustled tremendously.
Whoa.
They would, Valdosta State was, first to the ground on the floor. They were sprinting back and forth, and and I saw some ladies that kind of on our ladies kind of jogging, and after making the turnovers, I didn't like the body language. I really didn't. And then we kind of, we stayed in striking distance at the half, but the second half, we really didn't respond at all. We that's where we really got blown out that second half. So, hopefully we're reset and be ready for the start of the season.
Well, as you can see, the season begins on Monday, right in the backyard against Florida State. I don't have the game time yet. I haven't seen. I thought, what did Coach say? 7 o'clock.
I believe that's
6 o'clock. 7 or 6 o'clock. She said that on the show, even though it's not listed on the website. But let's get over there to the Civic Center, and let's the Tallahassee Rattlers. Let's make sure we show up and support the season for the Lady Rattlers, and then they will be in DC the weekend of November 8th on Saturday, returning home and home to Howard in DC on November 8th. And then they will be in Fairfax, Virginia over at George Mason on Monday, November 10th. So for the Northeast Rattlers, who is it that said they're part of that chapter in our chat group, in our message boards? Melissa Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
I think she said she's part of the group that'll be there. Yep, to support support the Lady Rattlers. So looking forward to seeing some great love shown to the Lady Rattlers, not only in Tallahassee but up in DC. And their first home game in the Lawson Center. Again, you can see it there, November 15th against Samford, 4:00 Eastern. So Saturday, November 15th. So good opportunity to get out and support. All right, again, basketball season begins Monday. Wow, it's already here.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll catch up on the volleyball a little bit later in the show. But coming up in the next segment, Doc Holliday, HBCU Overdrive, is coming on to chat with us, and we'll get his Jackson State perspective on what is coming to Bragg and how the Tigers are licking their wounds after being clawed up by their big brother, Grambling. We'll talk to him and more on the other side. You're watching the BCSN. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong show. This is the ONG Strike Zone. Jesus, man, I'll tell you, this is the ONG Strike Zone on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in a moment.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural taste, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
College football fans, a champion will rise in Atlanta on December 13th. MEAC champion, SWAC champion, the 10th Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year. Returning to Atlanta on December 12th, 4 bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us for rankings updates throughout the season, and join us on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
All right, welcome back to the ONG Strike Zone. Bryan and Kelvin here, and it's a pleasure to have on the ONG for the first time making his debut. It's the host of HBCU Overdrive. Make sure you follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, he done came on before.
Second time last season.
No, really? For the JSU,
last season
game?
When y'all came to Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, Doc. I thought it was Charles who we had put the kibosh on, but I didn't. Okay, my bad. Welcome back to the O&G, Doc. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's cold and windy out here in Dallas, so of course you see I'm bundled up right now. we don't do that type of weather right now. I know it's about November. My bad, November.
I woke up and it was in the 60s here in Florida, so I mean that.
Yeah, it's gonna be that way. Well, it's gonna be that way this weekend. So it rained a little bit today. Starting tomorrow, the lows will be in the 40s and the highs will be in the high 60s. So by 7:00 Saturday, it's gonna be a little nippy.
Yeah, this is perfect football weather, especially like I said, especially being here in Texas. It's perfect football weather. Very perfect.
Okay. So, Doc, for anyone who's not familiar, Doc is, of course, he's a regular on the SWAC conference calls. If you ever check out the Monday SWAC football calls, you hear him. You can always, if you're not following him on socials, if you're not on Twitter, HBCU_Overdrive. Also on YouTube, look up HBCU Overdrive. Let's jump right into it, man. This is this is look, preseason. I'm one of those people that called it the game of the year. Obviously, not quite 1A and probably not even 1B, but I mean, right now, okay, it's worth talking about as potentially one of the more interesting matchups given where we're at this point in the season. Let's start with where Jackson State is after the game against Grambling. And feel free to insert any information that you want to share regarding Jacoby Morgan, the quarterback situation, having to go to the third string to really grab the lead against Grambling, Doc.
So I think we're in a good spot right now. When you think about it, since last season, since that last loss to Grambling, you really think about it, we've been on a 15-game FCS winning streak up until this past Saturday. We were on a 11-game win streak in the SWAC until this past Saturday. So we had a lot of we had a lot of momentum coming into the season, especially with the preseason SWAC Offensive Player of the Year with Jacoby Morgan being the quarterback and lead the team. But when you come down to it, injuries they do happen. And also, getting the kick in the butt can also jumpstart your team too, because now you got that out the way. Like, who's going to beat us? Okay, of course, Grambling beat us. Now it's time to move on to FAMU and get it to Tallahassee, try to come out with a win. And I know it's going to be a hostile environment, especially now with how the magnitude is because now everybody in the East control their own destiny. We control our own destiny. We're still up. Of course, we have the tiebreaker against Alabama State. And I know it's going to take some time. It's going to take some work to get y'all for FAMU to actually try to make it to the SWAC championship game and also try to host. So everybody's going to be the whole thing about for the East, everybody's going to be a fan of Alabama State, see what they're going to do against Prairie View from the West, because even though I'm 3 hours away, I don't want to drive to the country like that.
Wait a minute. It's in Prairie View. It's in Houston. That's not.
No. It's not in Houston. It's near, but it's not in Houston.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, I thought it was in Houston. My bad.
Nah, Prairie View is 50 miles from the nearest part of Houston. Y'all gotta understand, Houston is big. Houston is big, so the nearest part of Houston, and you still got to travel into the city. But Prairie View is in the country. Prairie View in the country. Shout out to my niece. She goes to Prairie View. She's a third year education student there. So, and pretty much, this is going to be a game. This is going to be a game of all games because it's going to test our mettle as far as see what we can do with our backup QB.
So you believe that that Jackson State will be going to the backup this game? I mean, I don't know if I don't know that you're breaking any news or anything, but that's just your belief.
That's my belief. I mean, when you watch the game on Saturday, you seen Jacobian come out with in a walking boot. You know, it looked a little bit more severe than what was initially, what it was initially thought of, because you got to realize it wasn't a contact injury, like it was non-contact. So he probably had to have done that prior to when he ran in for the touchdown. I don't know. We don't know. We not the doctors. We not anything like that. I am just a fan of football, and I'm just a fan of Jackson State. So, but I have real good belief that we will, Jared Lockhart, more likely will be the starter for Saturday and for the foreseeable future, depending on how long Kobe is going to be out. And basically just don't play superhero. Go out there and play the game. And you got a whole team behind you. Just go out there and play the game.
So before I give it to Kelvin, let me ask what maybe is the obvious for a lot of folks is: do you believe Jackson State is built, if it is the foreseeable future, for more than one game? Given what's at stake, do you feel like this offense is built to be able to sustain the next man up? Because I think Morgan had showed enough skill, talent, that it was like, hey, he's the straw that stirs the drink. And I mean, there are a lot of weapons, but I mean, is this offense built for the next man to really just jump in the driver's seat like that?
Man, when you look at what Jared Lockhart did, even though it was against Tuskegee, he came out, was proficient in that game. He passed for 78% in the game, 257 yards. He had a couple of touchdowns, had a running touchdown in the game also. So he was proficient in that game. So I think coming into this game, the offense can basically fit him. And I think it's easy because, like you said, we have so many weapons around us. So, we got a whole stack running back room where you can go with Ahmad Miller, and you can switch out to Denario Davenport. And then if you want speed, you got Travis Terrell. So the run game is the consistent thing that we have. And I think we do lead. Either we do lead or we're second in the conference when it comes to rushing offense.
No, you're number one.
Number one? Okay. So we're still number one in the rushing offense. So when you think about it, he doesn't have to have a lot of putting all the pressure on his back to go out there and try to win the game. Just go out there, play, get the ball to your weapons. Don't let the moment be too big for you. But when looking at this kid, he wants that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when he came into the game in Las Vegas, it didn't seem like the bright lights was getting to him. Like it was just like he went out there and played just like he was playing in the backyard. Mm-hmm. And we also gotta understand that Jared Lockhart is a true freshman. True freshman. TC already, he said on the conference call that he wanted to bring him in, give him a little bit of playing time, but also put him on, use him as his red shirt. Mm-hmm. But with what's going on now, there's no reason to red shirt him. Mm-hmm. Just let him go out there and play.
Yeah. All right. So, go ahead, Kelvin.
I'm interested. I want to go back a little bit. I'm interested to know what you think about the season, JSG's season up to this point. And how does Tiger Nation? How do they view what has been done up to this point, this game?
I don't know if you want me to get into what Tiger Nation want to talk about, but a lot of things they'll tell you. Tiger Nation would say, like, we need to get the ball to our weapons, use our receivers more, throw the ball more down the field, hand the ball off to the bigger running backs in Miller and Davenport, and kind of put Travis Terrell in certain, third down situations, put him in the slot, run jet sweeps, just utilize his athletic ability. That's what Tiger Nation would say. And then really the Tiger Nation would say the defense need to kind of come out there and be more dominant. When we looked at it, when you look at the game on Saturday, it seemed like we were a little bit timid, but in the third quarter, after the third quarter, that's when the defense, dark side defense, just kind of tightened up. And also offense went back out there and we scored 2 touchdowns just like that in that fourth quarter until I would say the wheels fell off.
Yeah, that's that championship medal. That's the one thing that you all can lay your hat on, because you have won Celebration Bowl. You've won the SWAT 3 out of the last 4 years, so you still have guys who've been through that and won't blink, so to speak. What kind of attendance you think you'll have for this game? Because it is a big game, and FAMU has been playing better. Their offense, some of the things you said is ditto on the FAMU side, and we finally kind of seem like we figured out some things in terms of getting our guys the ball in space and calling offensive game that puts them in the best position to be successful and win. So, you all just was in Vegas. Now this is a game for the first place in the East. Mm-hmm. And then depending on what Alabama State does with Prairie View, it could be the deciding game in the East. Yeah. So what do you think your fan base? I know the Boom's supposed to be coming. What kind of attention you think the fan base is going to be? And then secondly, what's the mindset of your team coming into this game, you think?
I think our fan base is going to show out in a pretty nice size. I can't really tell you how many people are going to be there as far as with our fans, but I know they'll come out there. They'll be rowdy. They'll be loud. Whenever y'all put us in that little small corner of the stadium. But I think, the Boom going to come in and we're going to be loud. We're going to be, it's going to be that atmosphere where we could have had that in the Orange Blossom Classic. And actually, we could have had that. We had that last year, especially if the March 100 would have came to Jackson. Also, it would have been a really big raucous crowd. But from my standpoint, I look at it like, if y'all gonna sell out, y'all sell out. And I know that side, where your student section is on the visitor side, is going to be loud, and they're going to be rowdy. They're going to be proud. They're going to do their job. and then with the March 100 gonna be on that side too, do their job. But I feel like we just kind of like have tunnel vision and kind of blank out and not worry about all the distractions and stuff and go out there and play football. And I think it should be on both sides too, because like to be honest with you, for FAMU, this is real big too, because you know starting off the season that you started off and now getting the last 2 wins and still being in the position to actually be in consideration for the SWAC championship game is mostly important too. So because if you didn't win those last 2 games, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was gonna roll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks.
No doubt. Doc, let me go back a week and a bye week to the Alabama State game.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a chance to go up for that game, or did you kind of?
I was on the sideline taking pictures, man.
Okay. So take us there, because I mean, obviously we were watching it after our game finished. We caught the last fourth quarter, the last quarter. We were outside the stadium at the tailgate watching, and obviously so far game of the year, just by nature of the way the game went all the way to the last play, last second.
Right.
Was that one of the best atmospheres? And again, you guys are in a nice run, 3 titles in the past 4 years now. But during this run, how would you compare the atmosphere for that game versus any other regular season game that you've been to and experienced thus far? Did it live up to the hype?
I mean, of course, exactly. It did live up to the hype. I think it was better than the last year's game when y'all came to Jackson. And being that it was our homecoming, it was our homecoming game. It was the atmosphere was electric. Alabama State came into that game. They wanted to prove that they belong in the SWAC East, especially in the conversation of either going to the SWAC championship game or hosting the SWAC championship game to try to get to the Celebration Bowl. And I think that should be everybody's mindset as far as coming into the season. Like, look, I want to win my division, I want to win the conference, and I want to win a national championship. But going into this game, and Andrew Body is proving to everybody that he's proving to the doubters that, like, what y'all say about me, that I'm fragile, that I'm injured all the time, I'm injury prone. we could get all that out the way. We can get all of that out the way. And he went out there, and I talked to his mom after the game. Me and my mother came with me for homecoming, and we talked to him, and my mom told his mom, like, hey, your son had one hell of a game. It was one hell of a game. And I'm going to tell you, like I told people, I'll tell you how close I was to that last play. I always, when I take pictures, I'm always on the south end zone, closer to the corner by where the sheriff's department, the deputies are. And I was this close to the sideline, and I heard the crack of that helmet from Ashton Taylor. Like, that's how close I was. It was one of those bang bang plays. It was exciting. It was a lot of.
Did the call surprise you? Because I know as a photographer, you got to be in a position and you're hoping that it comes your way, but you're also kind of thinking, where is this play? Where might it go? So what was your thought on what play was going to be called? But you say you're not surprised that they ran that play.
I wasn't surprised because when you got an athlete, when you got a QB like Andrew, he could throw it. He has the ability to throw it, or he has the ability to tuck it in and run. When you think of, also when you look at it, it almost mirrored the same play when we played them last season in Montgomery, where Ashton Taylor basically shot up the middle to sack James Keys in the end zone for the safety. And then when you look at this play, Ashton really was he was the spy on Andrew Body. So wherever he went, and especially he, it's a speed option to the short side of the field. I was kind of surprised about that, but because I figured, you're gonna do a speed option, you will do it to the long side because you have all the room right there, or you have to where if your receivers are, let's say they ducked in the back of the end zone, that you could throw the ball to one of your receivers. I think they also had the fullback in on that play too. So we had at least 5 receivers to get it to. But to basically they ran that play a lot in the game too. And for him to throw the ball, and it's like as soon as he threw the ball, Ashton kind of took his eye off of Andrew and just beeline towards the running back. And play of the game, play of the year, game of the year. I even, I had, talked to Dr. McClellan. I even asked him, like, hey, do you think this is the game of the year? Absolutely. It was the game, I think it was the game of the year. But guess what now? We might have another game of the year coming this Saturday.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So, in fact, we might have 2 of them because, like I said, this game is very important to both schools. That game Saturday in Prairie View is going to be very important to both schools, especially since Prairie View, they haven't won anything since 2009. They haven't won the whole thing since 2009. And I like what Tremaine Jackson is doing out there. He's changing the whole culture. Like, you got to understand, being here in Texas, we all know, look, 0-80. That's all you need to know. We don't even have high schools that do that out here. They can probably go like 0-15, 0-20, but we don't even have nothing like that to go 0-80. And it's the change, Coach Jackson is going in there to change the whole mindset of the whole, the university and the fans. Like, we gotta, he's trying to put out a good football product. Fans need to come and see it, especially this Saturday.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure. Go ahead, Kay.
So, over the last 4 or 5 years, there's always been the argument that the East in football is much tougher than the West. Grambling has won. Peer Review had a win over the East against us last year. But there's not a lot of victories over West teams, over the top teams in the East. Do you see anything different this year with the West? And I know Peer Review and Texas Southern are currently at the top. I don't think they played any of the top 3 or 4 East teams yet.
So
outside of Grambling played y'all, but that was it, right?
Right. So in the East, in the West, I'll say like this: in the West, your season starts with that Labor Day Classic. Whoever wins that Labor Day Classic, either be in Houston or in Prairie View, you have a leg up on that, on the division. And for this season, for Prairie View to get that win against Texas Southern, and it was a close one. It was a close one. It was a close game.
Last minute.
It showed you what Tremaine Jackson is trying to do to that program, but it also shows you what Chris Dishman is doing to Texas Southern, because that's his only conference loss right now. You know, he started out the season 0-3. Of course, he had a couple of FBS teams on his schedule too. But to go in to win the last 4 games is pretty much it's a good sign. It's a good sign. And especially the last 3 conference games is a good sign for his program too, because he's very adamant, like, win the West, win the SWAC, go to the Celebration Bowl. He's not looking no other way. Even though he don't like being on that coach's call. He do not like being on that call, man. He do not like being on the call. But now, when you look at it, I like what the West is doing. It's down with, okay, of course, with Grambling winning against Jackson State, that puts them back into the rotation of going to the SWAC championship game. They're going to need some help because they lost to Texas Southern a couple weeks ago for their homecoming. And then, of course, they lost to Prairie View from the State Fair Classic. So now, yeah, you're going to need the help. You're going to need Prairie View to lose the last 2. You're going to need Texas Southern to lose 1 more, or at least 2 more, to put yourself into that mix. And you have to win. You have to win out. And they still got to play the Bama. They have to play the Bama schools. That's the thing. They got to play both of the Bama schools. They still have to play. I know Texas Southern should have to play Alcorn, and I think the last one, I think it's if I'm not mistaken, it's Valley. If I'm not mistaken, if anybody that can show it to me, just if I'm wrong, just correct me. I don't mind being corrected. Of course, with Grambling, they have to play. I think Alabama A&M. They got to play Alcorn. They also have to play Southern the last game of the season. It's surprising that Southern is playing the way that they are playing. You rarely hear that about Southern, especially in the SWAC. I wouldn't know what the West would be until the last 4 games of the season. Now in the East, you got 3 teams at 3-1 in the conference. Let's not sleep on y'all rival in that school of Daytona, because they are playing some good football. They are playing good football. Can they sustain it right now? I think they could sustain it until they get to Jackson. And then
I think they kind of in the same place we are. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that, we played really tough competition early, right? We played Alabama State Central. And we got into a part of our schedule where we playing a little bit less, and now we finna jump back into, upper tier team. And Bethune, they started off rough, losing 3 out of their first 4. Then they hit that stretch where they played some teams after they lost. Didn't they play Alabama State already?
Yeah, they play Alabama State. They lost to Alabama State. That's their only conference loss.
Yeah, after they lost that, they were part of a schedule where it was manageable and they could get some confidence, and that offense went to rolling now, so but they lost South Carolina State and Alabama State early. So I think they mirror us. I think we're on similar paths. I'm just interested to see for this game.
Mm-hmm.
I really think we found something offensively. And the atmosphere. It's a night game at Bragg, so it's gonna be Club Bragg for real. It's not only gonna be packed. There's gonna be a lot of energy there. So I'm interested to see if we can take that next step. That's the one thing we don't know. Just like I would tell you, when you got a true freshman quarterback, ain't got to do with his talent. First game on the road in that kind of atmosphere, you won't know to he's been in the atmosphere, and you see how I respond to it, whether or not he can handle that atmosphere. So there's a lot of interesting storylines to that. But I really respect TC and what he does. Now my question is, who calls the plays? I thought TC called the plays last year. Look like your OC might be calling the play this year. Is that the case?
So it's split between our OC, Rip Kirk, and his co-office coordinators is Rip Kirk and also Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez is the O-line coach, but he's also the run game coordinator. And then with Rip, he's the pass game coordinator, but everything's still finalized through with TC. This is something I always, I kind of tell people, like, watching that, seeing that Alabama State game at the game, that's the most like his tone and his expression after that game. That's the most I've ever seen for TC. And I went to school with TC.
Okay.
And I went to school with TC. I think I'm a year before, cause I came in 97. I think he came in 98. So that's the most, excitement. Like he was pumped. He was pumped.
Yeah.
And in his mind, and this is TC, in his mind, the sweat still run through Jackson.
Yeah.
The sweat still run through Jackson. HBCU football on the FCS level still run through Jackson. So you think about it, like,
yeah,
you still got to come to the vet. You still got to come to the vet.
So with that being said, what's your prediction on the game Saturday? What you think?
Night game in Bragg. Y'all gonna have the LED lights out. Now I'm gonna tell folks, don't look at them lights all the way through. Your ass gonna have a seizure out there. So no, but it's gonna be electric. It's gonna be crowd got to get into it, both sides. I'm looking to see like smash mouth football this weekend. You're gonna see FAMU try to run the ball. You're gonna see Jackson State. We're gonna, of course, running the ball is our forte. It's all about the coaching aspect. What Colsey gonna do when he's put in this situation? What TC gonna do when he's put in this situation? So last season, we had a stalemate all the way to a certain amount of time in the fourth quarter, and then our defense woke up.
Till we called that stupid play on second and third down.
Yeah, it's amazing how we see that differently, right? The defense, all we had to do was run the ball and punt. Yeah, but yeah, I got you. They did make the play.
Man. But now when you look at it, it was a stalemate. It was that was the best defensive game I've ever seen right there. And then we just defense just woke up, and of course making, that defensive play, and then turn around, get another turnover, and then we punched in for the touchdown just to see, that was the equalizer in the game right there. I might be looking at a replay of what we saw last season. I'm gonna go Jackson State. Of course I'm gonna go Jackson State. It's me. But I be like somebody in the chat said I am unbiased. I really am unbiased because I tell people I have to cover everybody. But I'm gonna go with my alma mater, 28-17.
Okay.
All right. I can respect that. I respect that. Respect that a lot. Let me ask you a final question, Doc, because you are again a regular on the SWAC coaches calls, And you said something that made me chuckle there about Dishman, Coach Dishman of Texas Southern, not wanting to be on there. So I want you to, you're there, you hear everybody, you ask questions a lot. Who's the most interesting in terms of the information that they provide or just their energy or personality? Who's the most interesting in that call, in that hour of hour and a half that you're listening to all these calls and coaches? And then maybe it's Chris Dishman for this last one. Outside of Dishman, who is like deadwood on a side of the road that you just like, man, I know he does not want to be here. It's like, can we move on? Who is that guy?
Sometimes Coach Hampton, if he coming off a loss. If Coach Hampton is on there, he come off a loss. He does not want to be on there. Like,
yeah, they do a lot of losing over there at UAPB.
Yeah, even talking to Coach Mickey, Coach Joseph, like this season he's more upbeat because he feels like he has the confidence in his team, even if he's coming off of the loss. But with Coach Joseph, he explains to me like just having that type of like a relationship, because I'm telling folks, I'm not a reporter. I went to school for journalism and I also went to school for history too. But I ain't no reporter. This is something that I just came up doing 3.5 years ago, and I'm just evolving with what's going on. It's just instead of being a podcaster, I'm involved with asking questions to coaches. I'm involved with photography and stuff like that. So this is all evolution right here. But with talking to Coach Joseph, and just sitting there and listening to him, he talks about football, but he also talks about life and stuff like that. Of course, he bitches his brothers in the NFL. I'm a Cowboys fan. I already talked to him about that. But
who are his brothers, by the way? Because I heard him talk about his brothers. Who are his brothers?
Vance Joseph is his brother. Is one of his brothers. That's the defensive coordinator in Denver.
Okay, right.
And then I think he had another Terry. So, but talking to Coach Joseph is cool. Of course, talking to Coach Colsey, he's cool too, because ask him a question, he'll break it down from top to bottom. He gives you an understanding about what the team needs to do, what they didn't do, what they got to do. Of course, Coach TC, he'll tell you like it is. And Coach E-Rod come in and he doesn't, he comes in, he don't sugarcoat anything. So those are my favorite coaches to talk to. I also started going on the MEAC calls too.
Okay.
So one of my favorites is Coach Oliver, Coach Trey. He's good. He don't sugarcoat anything.
Nope.
He tell you like it is, and that's it. Don't ask him the same question over. He gonna tell you the same answer. He gonna give you the same answer, but that's something that I like. And then Deshaun Jackson is one of my favorites. Now, just look at it because it's like, even though he's in his first year, he has full confidence in his team, especially after they won Saturday against Central and wrecked their homecoming.
Wrecked their season, probably. Damn, the homecoming.
Yeah, wrecked their season because it's a battle royale in the MEAC.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what he does tomorrow because they do play at 6:00 on ESPNU. They live in Philadelphia against Michael Vick and Norfolk State. Michael Vick is one of the favorite ones to talk to. I just think he needs a little bit more pep in the step because he's laid back. He's like, I put it like he's like me. He's like very laid back. But I don't think he will put up with any kind of nonsense. we all saw what he did, firing the defensive coordinator and 2 people off the defensive staff in the middle of the season. But then you go ahead and get 50 put on you by South Carolina State. In your homecoming, at your homecoming But with those two, I did kind of fanboy over because, of course, D-Jack being from California, and Michael Vick being one of my favorite players growing up, coming up, even though I think I'm older than him by at least a year and a half. And of course, I have a relationship with Deshaun Jackson because him being with my Eagles used to kill my damn Cowboys when we used to play. So kind of fanboy, but then you gotta snap back, get to it, and be like, okay, gotta ask this man this tough question, like, what is going on with your defense? So,
do you think that Deshaun Jackson, the difference between Vic and Jackson, is it their, because neither one had really head coaching experience prior to this year? Do you think the difference is their personalities, or is it just or is it personalities and personnel? Because obviously Delaware State's got a good quarterback, good running back.
They got 2 good running backs.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that's right. That's true.
They got 2 good running backs. Actually, they got 3 because if you, I think the game
you count the quarterback as the third.
Well, I don't count the quarterback now. They do have a couple of running backs. With the game they played, I think their homecoming game they played against Southern Connecticut State, they ran the ball for over 600 yards. And 3 of those running backs went for 100 yards. One of them only carried the ball 3 times, had 150 yards in the game, and he took himself out the game after his second touchdown. I said, "Well, that's diabolical right there." But I Saturday I was watching the game, watch party, and Marquise Gillis' mother and his uncle came on the stream, and watched it with us and like treat them like family. I'm like, sure, that's cool. Like, hey, shout out, look, tell your son he doing a hell of a good job. But with Deshaun Jackson, he did have experience as a coach because he was an offensive coordinator in high school in California, in Long Beach. And then to have somebody on his side as a mentor, to be on his staff, and then to get all the other members on his staff, including getting Clinton Portis to come and be the running backs coach, it shows. The defense wasn't all that great early in the season, but when you've seen it the last couple of games, they have been clicking on all cylinders. They made stops when it's supposed to be made. Especially now when you watch the game if you watch the game from Saturday, the big stop on the 1 yard line where they stripped Chris Mosley of the ball at the 1 and basically it's sealed the game for them. And it's crazy for them, they're 5-3, 1-0 in conference, and they haven't had this much traction since 2012, and they haven't had this much excitement since before I was born. It's crazy. It's crazy. With Vic, I think he has to have at least 2 more recruiting cycles to kind of filter out those guys that was under Dawson Odoms, and to bring his guys and to bring in the staff that wants to win at Norfolk State. You got to change the attitude about being at Norfolk, because we all know Norfolk is a basketball school. We don't, they only had 6, 7 seasons of winning football out of the time that they had a football program. That ain't good. That ain't good.
No doubt.
I mean,
no doubt.
We got a high school here in Texas, in South Lake Carroll. They haven't lost the dang on district game in 20 years.
Is it fair to say just in HBCU, since you brought up the MEAC and the SWAC, and looking at a lot of these games, there's not much defense being played when teams play each other. Every game seems like it's in the 30s.
Well, except for that Prairie View team, because he ugly. He makes the game ugly, but the offense make the game ugly too. Because they really don't throw the ball a lot over there. They're more running. That make the game ugly. But when you see it down over here in the SWAC, it's offense. It's offense. Alabama State, for the last 4 years in this conference, was not known to be an offensive juggernaut. And watching them this season look like the second coming of when Darnell Kennedy was QB at Bama State. Or will you guys say with Tavares Jackson was the sitting college at Bama? And like again, having everybody and all those weapons over there doing what they do. I was like, it was bad enough that the halftime score was 49-6 at the Classic, but they're doing a lot of they out there doing a lot of shenanigans after football, after the touchdowns and stuff. You got everybody in his line brother out there strolling after a touchdown. You got dudes that doing headstands in the end zone.
That was crazy.
You got the fullback. You got the fullback dance, and I'm like, yo, these boys out here having fun. That's what it's supposed to be about. they are out there having fun. And then the MEAC is pretty much, they got some offensive weapons. They got offensive play calling over there. Like I said, with Delaware State doing what they do, I think they are second in the conference in scoring. North Carolina Central is first. You look at it, it's like, yo, man, like they can play some ball over there too. But all right. I think our issue is we always discount them from the race in the MEAC because we always look at South Carolina State, Central, and then maybe a Howard.
Right. Yep.
Morgan State has still disappointed me because they've been talking about getting an offensive mindset, and it still hasn't happened since Damon Wilson been there for 4 years. Norfolk still have the remnants of Dawson Odoms on them, and Delaware State, like I said, you just don't know what's going to happen with them. But we shall see. Like I said, it's a 16 race over there. And you got to start off fast because you can slip up over there in that conference to where you can kind of slip up early in the season in the SWAC and then make your track, make up ground when you play the conference game.
Yep, for sure. Doc, let people know where they can find you when the shows go, because I swear it seems like you're on like every other day, and especially on the weekend. So let people know when and where they can find you, man.
All right. So everybody, y'all can find me on HBCU Overdrive. I do HBCU Tonight. That is my signature show that I do it used to be every night, but I do it 3 times a week. On Saturdays, I do HBCU Saturday Night, where I basically kind of string games and talk about the games and stuff like that. Have a watch party and kind of have fun over there for the football games. And I also partner up with my man Troy White with the Gathering Old Men podcast, Fat Mouth Sports. So we do some collaborative stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you can either watch it on his channel, or you can watch it on my channel. But we over there, we have fun. We are unfiltered in that space. Kelvin been over there, man. He was over there last week?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. We are unfiltered, especially when I'm unfiltered when it comes to my Cowboys. I tell folks I don't care what anybody say. Go ahead, big up Jerry's mama, and tell him put that black dress on, so we go ahead and bury him. So that's how I feel about my owner. Everybody know. Everybody know how. But also, man, y'all can catch me on the sideline when I'm taking, doing my photography and stuff like that. So I taking into consideration, being a photographer when it comes to going to the games and stuff like that. It's starting to be a passion now. So I'm in the works of doing coming up with an LLC for my podcast and the photography together. It's called Overdrive Media LLC. It's been a great 3.5, about to be 4 years in May of next year. Doing this podcast, and like I tell people, I started us off as not even talking about HBCU sports. I started out talking about fashion. Y'all see my hats. See sneakers over there in the background. Clothing, that's what I wanted to do. But then I actually did find my lane because I love sports. I love my HBCUs, and I just love talking about it. And we all need a voice. Yeah. So but other than that, man, I love doing what I do. Even when we got haters coming over to the channel, trying to spam a channel with anti-HBCU rhetoric, I ain't got time for it. I gotta tell folks, I am a kid from Oak Cliff, Texas. I ain't never got time for it. I could be the most coolest person, or I could get to that level. And I don't want to get to that level. I want to stay peaceful and calm and stuff like that. But first and foremost, shout out to my girls, my kids, my daughters, doing what they do. Shout out to my nieces. One is at Grambling as a freshman. And like I said, my other one is at Prairie View. Shout out to my mom, because my mom is my road dog. When we go out of town, the first time we went out of town together when I was doing this was to the SWAC championship game in Tallahassee in 2023. Okay. We made an 11-hour drive from Dallas to Tallahassee, bro. We made it. we made it. We made it. But shout out to my mama, because man, she been there for me throughout thick and thin, and through all the dark times of what I've been going through health wise and stuff like that. And then last but not least, shout out to all the subscribers that do come on the show, that watch the show. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for y'all. I have to say that. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for y'all. But I know what I got to do. I got to get ready for work. I have a 9 to 5. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do this full time. I don't have to worry about going to work at night and stuff like that. But until then,
keep grinding, man. It's gonna come. It's gonna keep grinding, brother. You're doing a great job, man. Keep doing your thing. It's gonna come. Stay prayed up and keep grinding. And keep promoting. And like I said, man, you part of this HBCU sporting diaspora, as like Dr. Cavill likes to call it, man. So it's always good to have your voice. It's always good to have your platform. Always enjoy it when I get a chance to watch. And we appreciate you taking some time tonight, man. All right. Go Tigers and
go Rowlers.
JSU by 40.
All right, Doc.
Peace out. Yeah, he knew he had to get that in there, didn't he?
Yeah.
God bless him. All right, let's take a break. come back. Let's catch up on a few more sports. Volleyball, bowling season started. Did you know that? Did you know? Bowling started. And then did you get any updates on the softball thing yet? We'll find out a little bit if we got an update on the softball scores. We'll hit you up with that. And then Kelvin and I will kind of wrap up by giving you our analysis, or maybe our predictive analysis on what to expect this upcoming weekend as Jackson State rolls into town. The Sonic Boom of the South will also be there. And I'm told the Marching 100 will be honoring Joe Bullard, who is in his 50th year. So, they didn't get a chance to celebrate Joe for homecoming. So I think the plans are that they're going to celebrate Joe in this performance. And, of course, it is senior night. So we'll get a chance to toast.
Veterans.
And veterans. See, there's a lot going on. So veterans, seniors, not those seniors, but more so the seniors on the football team, the veterans and all of that. So it's a lot going on. Big weekend in Tallahassee. Club Bragg in the house. Make sure you're there. We're looking for those attendance numbers, trying to see, are we going to have a sellout? God, it should be a sellout this game. This game should be a sellout. It's got to be a sellout. So let's be there. Appreciate Doc Holliday, HBCU Overdrive, for joining us. We'll be back right after these words. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a state, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
With over 25 years of serving our communities, Destiny Financial Services, a division of Global Life, is here to help you and your family through difficult times. From cancer care to accidental industries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life, but you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call DFS at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at www.globelifeinsurance.com. That is 877-300-8269, or again, the website at www.globelifeinsurance.com.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year, a title reserved for elite HBCU marching bands. A season-long competition that culminates in Atlanta on Friday, December 12th. Drum majors, percussion, drill, auxiliaries, musicality. All aspects will be examined by the toughest judges in the world of college bands. 4 will qualify for the big stage, where national champions will be crowned. Follow us on social media for rankings updates throughout the season. And join us in Atlanta on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan and Kelvin here. Marcus is on assignment. Got again, appreciate Doc Holliday, HBCU Overdrive, for coming in, checking with us and giving us some of the tea on Jackson State. I thought, just to kind of recap, Kelvin, I thought it was kind of interesting hearing Doc state that look, the one problem I have with college athletics right now, I mean, amongst all of the things that are going on, is injury reporting. There's no true injury reporting. There's no standard for injury reporting. But Doc is under the impression that he thinks Jacobian is not playing this game, that they'll probably go to what was the young man, the third string, who came in at the end of the game against Grambling. I saw somebody in the chats state that his foot was broken. It was a non-contact injury. I mean, of course, we don't know for sure. Maybe that person does. I don't know. So yeah, I that was the one big takeaway for me. What any other thoughts or takeaways as from that conversation with Doc?
No, not really. I thought he was reasonable in his take on both the season thus far for Jackson State as well as his analysis of the upcoming game and his score prediction. So nothing surprised me.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's get a couple other the non-football related sports here before we come back and circle back to the game against Jackson State. The Lady Rattlers got off the schneid, as they like to say it. Got back to their winning ways as they were on the road at Arkansas Pine Bluff and then later at Grambling. And they managed to get a 3-0 sweep of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Pretty dominant performance. The team had 3 players in double figures in kills. The attackers combined to hit .433. LaDonna Trentham, the freshman, had a match-high 13 kills in the contest. She also had a match-high 8 digs. And Mackenzie Taylor had a match-high 33 assists in the win. As at this point in the season, the Lady Rattlers improved to 4-6 in conference play, 6-15 overall. Then we traveled over Grambling State, and it took 4 sets. You can see we dropped the first set. Well, maybe you can't see. Hold on. You can see we dropped the first set, but then rallied to take the after dropping the first set 25-23. We won the next 3, 25-20, 25-15, and 26-24. In the contest, again, we had another 3 players in double-figure kills. Another big day for LaDonna Trentham. She had a team-high ace. Farrah Farouk had 8 blocks in the contest. Sydney Whitfield had a double-double with 13 kills and 10 digs. The fourth set, just a little note there, you saw we ended up winning that fourth set 26-24. We trailed by as much as 9 points in the fourth set. That's telling for me, Kelvin, because for a team that's, struggled a little bit this season, a little more than what we're used to, I mean, rallying back from 9 points down is pretty doggone impressive. That's
one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is it kind of is represented. We were 5-6 in the SWAC, and if you even look at that particular game, we lost the first set 23-25, and then we won the third set 25-15. And you talked about the wild swing in that fourth set. We're just not consistent. That's what's keeping us from being at the top. We've got to find some consistency, and we're still searching for that.
After the SWAC awards, LaDonna Trentham, newcomer of the week. Just kind of, I mentioned some of the statistics that she had. Let me see. Did the SWAC release? They should have released their press release on this. Let me see how quickly I can pull it up here. Let's see. Nope, they don't have the press release on this one, but kind of, if you kind of catch some of the totals that we gave, LaDonna actually had one of the higher numbers. I think I mentioned what she did. I already mentioned what she did in the Prairie View or UAPB contest. She had 18 kills in the Grambling. So she has really turned into be that outside hitter that she's only a freshman. She's really turning into be right along with the Brooklyn Watts, the Dominique Washingtons. Those are the names that have kind of carried from this position during our 4-year run. Those are the names who have been Ayani Sanford. Those are the names that have kind of carried it. And so she's kind of picking up right where, of course, Ayani is still on the team. She's only a junior, I believe. So, I mean, that's just some of the names that have carried. Okay, what's upcoming here? As you can see, the matches from Monday were played. And then here we go. Friday. This would be a good opportunity for those of you who are in town. If you get in town early if you're in town early for the Jackson State game, please get to the Lawson Center. 6 o'clock. Alabama State, who is right now, let me go to the standings here. They are sitting, they're in 4th place, actually, 7-3 record right now. But we've got the Alabama schools in town. So we got Alabama State on Friday, Alabama A&M on Sunday. That's a noon Sunday. So it's a good weekend. So don't skirt out of town just yet. Once you check out of your hotels, go over to the Lawson Center on Sunday and show some love to the ladies and get over there and support. Take a look at the standings. As you can see, look how important it is. It's a big weekend. We are 5-6 and in 8th place right now. How huge would it be for us to get 2 wins over the Alabama schools? It'd be huge. I mean, we could go from literally, we got an opportunity to go from 8 to 4, really, because again, they're playing Bethune-Cookman, and Bethune-Cookman is a game out of first place. So those are going to be tough matches for Alabama State and Alabama A&M. So it'd be good to get a sweep over Alabama State. Well, it'd be good to see Alabama State lose 2 in Florida. And that would move us potentially. I'm looking at that. We could go. Yeah, we definitely could get up as high as 4. This could be a big jumping weekend for us.
No, we can get high as 5th.
All right.
Alabama State will only have 5 losses, even if they lost both.
Okay. All right. Well, but we would have we'd have a split tiebreaker with them.
Yeah, but we have more loss. We have 1 more loss than them still.
Okay, 6 my bad. So we could go from as high as 5th possible. All right, well, yeah. I'll take 2 or 3 spots we can move up. All right. So there it is. Good opportunity. Let's see what the Lady Rattlers do. Again, we are hosting the SWAC tournament this year. The SWAC tournament comes through Tallahassee. So, it'd be good to kind of be able to see if we can get to our 5th consecutive. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but there's still time left in the season. So there's still about a good 3 weeks left in the season. So it starts right here, right now, this weekend. So we need you there, Rattlers. We need you there. Let's get behind our championship programs. Transition into bowling, because we don't talk about bowling a lot. It's been kind of off the radar, but Coach Jeremy Williams, who we've had on the show before, and he's into his second season now. And the team just finished up their first meet of the year, which was in Orlando, the Destination Orlando Tour. And in looking at the roster, one of the interesting things that Marcus kind of pulled up when looking at the roster, Coach Williams, he had to pretty much rebuild this roster. This roster was pretty much in tatters. He has 9 freshmen on this squad. 9 freshmen and 1 senior. I don't know, Kelvin, if the 1 senior, Kennedy Richardson, from out of Carson, California, I don't know, is she a carryover from the previous year or years?
I don't know. I don't have that answer.
All right. Well, in taking a look at some of the young ladies that are part of this roster, you've got Anaya Franklin, who, she had committed as right before school started, right out of Rickards High School.
Thanks, Earl.
Olivia Brown. Committed a little earlier from July. She's from Sanford Crooms Academy, one of the magnet schools in the Seminole County public system. Then you have back in April, Layla Holtzappel. She's another one from out of Seminole County, Lake Mary High School. What I love about her stats is she was voted Seminole County Female Bowler of the Year. And that Lake Mary program is one of the 6A top programs, top schools in Seminole County in Central Florida. So, that's pretty impressive. You got a bowler of the year there. So we'll see what Miss Holtzappel brings to the table this year. Here's another one with a highly decorated bowler from out of South Florida, Miami Herald first team, Alyssa Metellus. As you can see, she went to Archbishop McCarthy out of Southwest Ranches, Florida. She was the Sun Sentinel first team on the first team for girls bowling. She was the South Florida Sun Sentinel Bowler of the Year back in 23. Just decorated, just a decorated bowler from out of South Florida. So there's another one, a good one, good get for Coach Williams. Brianna Buzon, she's from Qatar, kind of overseas student, from out of Qatar. Or Qatar, I think it is. Not Qatar, it's Qatar. I think that's the pronunciation. Alina Rodriguez from home state, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Carroll High School. She was a conference sectional champion. So that's pretty impressive. Sectionals would kind of be this equivalent of districts here in the state of Florida, for those of you who are wondering what the comparison is. Mary Terabisi from out of Grand Junction, Colorado. You can see Colorado High School Bowling Foundation top 4 female step ladders singles state runner-up. Awesome. Bree Stewart from out of Chicago, Morgan Park High School. Part of the Chicago Public League Girls Bowling Champions at Morgan Park. And they were sectional winners back in the spring of 25. You can see that her school also won the Girls Public League Bowling back in 2024 as well. Nikila Townsend, another one from Morgan Park. So a pair of Morgan Park High School young ladies from Chicago. Good stuff. All right. So there's the freshman, the 9. What do we? Is there a nickname for the 9? What can you come up with the 9 freshman? What can you call that? I don't know. Anybody?
We have to work on that one.
We'll have to work on that. All right, but shout out to Coach Williams, and then again, as mentioned, the one senior on the squad, Kennedy Richardson from Carson, California. Just kind of looking at her bio, she is a carryover from the previous year. So there you go. So I was just kind of looking at their schedule here. They're traveling, let's see, today. They are traveling to Richmond, Virginia, to Virginia Union Invite. So that'll be coming up. Those of you, if you're following on YouTube, FAMU Athletics, but take a look at what you see, and you might see some bowling if you're following FAMU Athletics. So VUU Invite, they are this week, and I don't know. I know Kelvin has reached out to Coach Williams. If nothing else, Kelvin, tell Coach Williams to, send us updates. We like to post this stuff. Shout out to Iria. She sends us the updates for softball. Man, we retweet them because sometimes we don't see that stuff. They're exhibition games, but I know a lot of you want to know what's going on with our teams, even if it's not quote unquote the official season. So, tell Coach Williams to send us some updates, man. Somebody, keep us in the loop with what they do. So that way we can make sure to retweet and post it.
Yeah, look like we only won 2 of the matches from this previous tournament that against Salem College. And
hold on, you said we won matches. I mean, that's a positive because I don't think we won we didn't win anything last year or last spring. So the fact that we won something is a positive.
We beat Prairie View and St. Anselm College. We lost to A&T, Maryville,
A&T's like the national champion. I mean, Jesus.
UMass, Alabama State. And they were close. A lot of them was close anyway. Wichita State, Duquesne, Jacksonville State, who won the tournament. So we off to a better start than we were last year, that's for sure. With a young team.
Mm-hmm. All right. EA would like for us to kind of break a little protocol, Kelvin. A lot of news happening around the HBCU diaspora, and even regarding FAMU. Before we even address any kind of rumors, I thought we ought to make mention there's been another wave of HBCU donations by Mackenzie Scott, Jeff Bezos's former or ex-wife. I shouldn't say former, his ex-wife. I think I saw a real funny tweet from Coach Colsey, but I think Alabama State, I know Alcorn received a gift of like $46 million. Alabama State got a gift of something like 43. And one of the things that I've noticed, Morgan State, I believe, got a donation. Did Delaware State get a donation? I don't know I might have to do a quick search on what recent donations have been publicized, because she doesn't publicize this, I don't think. This is like the schools choosing to share this information, if I'm not mistaken. But one of the things that I've noticed in this most recent run of donations, most of them have been unrestricted, meaning I think when she first ran some of these out there, Kelvin, I think there were restrictions to how the schools had to use the funds. And now that she's on, I believe, her third run of donations to HBCUs, as well as probably some other schools, but to HBCUs, I think this most recent one, I have seen the word unrestricted pop up in some of these announcements. Am I right on that? Are you seeing the same thing?
Yeah, there's unrestricted gifts. And what I would say is she has a team that does a very thorough job of vetting. And so I think having stable leadership, not so much influence of politics, trust that you got this financial safeguards and infrastructure to properly administer such a gift. Although I think all those things are coming in play. And I don't know if we fit into that criteria, which is why we haven't seen the number one public HBCU part of those gifts.
It's a good question to ask. I've heard people speculate. Well, but I'll tell. I pulled up the article here that talks about the donation. But what is being the big speculation? Because we speculate because we don't know and we don't get any info. So when you don't give us info, you leave us to speculating. FAMU. Okay. But anyway, the big speculation, a lot of it is politics. That's what people speculate. It could be because of the state we're in. We're a red state. I don't know how that. I didn't have
most HBCUs are though.
Okay, so see that's what I was saying. I didn't think that was a disqualifier because I'm glad you said that.
But how things are being administered and the aggressive nature of it probably is not helping. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's all speculation. We don't know. I mean, we don't know if we are if these are grants that you have to apply for. Or these, maybe we are, maybe we're not. Somebody should ask the question though. I mean, hell, the head coach of the football program is out there sending tweets to Mackenzie Scott. I mean, by God, I hope somebody from FAMU has.
I think that kind of speaks for itself, Bryan. You trying to put a bow on it. We don't duck no smoke.
These are some of the numbers and the gifts that she has given here over the past week. $38 million to Alabama State. $42 million to Alcorn State. A combined $100 million to Morgan State and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Morgan State received $63 million. The University of Maryland Eastern Shore, $38 million. The United Negro College Fund received $70 million back in September to support its capital campaign. The African American Cultural Heritage Action Fund received $40 million in October. So those are the latest numbers. Those are the schools. Hell, there could be more. Who knows?
That's why we're talking about what we do know. That's why we're talking about the ones that have received that we know of.
Exactly. Do you want to address the other EA's other request about the rumors, or should we leave them as just rumors and then tell you where you can go read the rumor?
Well, I mean, we don't duck no smoke around here. There is speculation that there's a person to be named soon with no AD experience, but very politically connected from across the tracks. That will be named the athletic director, and
I'll read it right here. I'll read the article.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll read the article right out of the Rattler Nation blog spot. because this, and I'm mentioning this, EA mentioned it, I'm mentioning it here on our show because it's been running rampant through the various chat circles and things of that nature. This was posted yesterday. Sources, FAMU expected to name Florida Lottery Secretary as AD. John Davis is the current secretary of the Florida Lottery and a longtime Republican operative as its next permanent athletic director. I like how you put that spin on it, right? According to multiple people familiar with the decision. The move appears to be heavily influenced by Governor Ron DeSantis, is already drawing sharp criticisms over questions of patronage and ethics. Mr. Davis, who played football at Florida State University 3 decades ago, has no experience in athletic administration, could be appointed as early as this week, the sources said. Again, this is coming from Rattler Nation Blogspot, which, if you follow it, sometimes there's news that is reported, and then sometimes there's opinion, and this article is a little bit of both. So we'll see if it actually comes out to be true. There's also some, you can go read the article, and, there's also speculation about some of his work in that office. But, I told somebody this, Kelvin, and then I don't know, we can move on from this. My only question that I will ask is the lack of athletic administration that, again, it's one thing to run an office. It's one thing to run a business or a department. Running an athletic department is not the same thing. There may be similarities in some processes, but there are a lot of differences. And it worries me where we're at, that potentially someone could be coming in that doesn't have any, to my knowledge. Maybe there's something on the resume that I don't see, but it appears it's someone who doesn't have any background in athletics other than being a former player. And I
want to move on. I don't want to spend much time on this, but
no, me neither.
My comment is this: experience matter. It's a hard job in the first place, and the results will be seen sooner than later, should this come to fruition. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of work. So, again, you can choose to go find the article. I'm sure if you're in various chat groups, whether it be on Facebook or whatever, you can find it. It's out there. People are talking. So that's all we've got to add. All right, let's take a look at the SWAC schedule. SWAC schedule is a full schedule of games. 6 SWAC games, all 12 teams playing one another. The majority of the games will be on SWAC TV, with one feature on HBCU Go and our game against Jackson State on ESPN Plus. So, Kelvin, let's start from the top and work our way all the way down to us, since we are the last game. Bethune-Cookman looks to keep that 30-point per game run going at home against Valley.
Safe.
You see any troubles? I don't think there'll be any troubles doing that.
No. They'll win this handily.
Southern still looking for a win in conference. They go to Arkansas Pine Bluff. Woo.
I think Fred McNair is someone who can get maximum potential out of this team in the short term anyway. Pine Bluff has no consistency and they have a culture of losing. So I think Southern gets its first conference win of the season. In a close one.
You know, I was going to ask you 35 points that Southern scored. On a percentage scale, how much of that was us? How much of that was them?
Probably 50-50.
Oh, okay.
Half it was them, half of it was us.
All right. So they nothing like coming up against FAMU to get out of the offensive funk.
This season for sure.
All right. A very interesting game. Alcorn State, I believe, got their first conference win, 32-10 over Valley.
Yep.
Now they travel to take on Texas Southern, who has the I believe, is it the conference's longest winning streak right now at 4?
Yeah, you might be right on that.
Yeah, the conference's longest winning streak belongs to Texas Southern right now. I'm looking it up right here. 4 games. Yes, it is. 4. No, I'm sorry. Prairie View has 5. Okay, so Prairie View has a 5-game winning streak. Texas Southern has 4, but Texas Southern is sitting in second place in the West, right 1 game behind Prairie View. What's your thoughts?
Who have they beaten?
Who beaten?
Texas Southern.
You mean their 4 wins? Who have they beaten?
Yeah.
Valley, Pine Bluff, Grambling, and VUL.
Boom. I don't know if they're as good as their record shows.
But is Alcorn any better than any of those 3 teams?
I would say probably so. As Prairie View.
Really?
I mean, Prairie View only beat them 13-12. And that's with them missing a field goal at the end of the game. So
does that say something more about Prairie View, or does it say something about Alcorn?
Well, I'm just saying Prairie View lost Texas Southern. I mean, beat Texas Southern on the last second. What I'm saying is there's no difference between the 2 teams. The record is different. It's different between the records, but it ain't difference in the talent. I think Alcorn has had a little bit tougher schedule. This will be a close game. I'm going to say Texas Southern by 3, but it would not shock me if Alcorn pulls the upset.
All right. I'm going Alcorn. I'm going Texas Southern. Don't ask me about points. Doesn't matter. Get a win. Ugly win, good win, pretty win. Doesn't matter. Alabama A&M traveling to Grambling State. At home, of course, Grambling coming off the Vegas win. No Savion T-Set. Alabama A&M's quarterback, Quad Brown, is also hurt, I believe.
Most confusing team in the SWAC to me is A&M.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's Grambling. Grambling's the most confusing team to me. But
no, you didn't. They didn't have expectations. Nobody knew much about them. You didn't have any expectations for Grambling this season. Alabama A&M, there was a trendy pick to be the surprise team in the East. Somebody might be on this show. I might have picked them to be second or something like that. But anyway,
I just said surprise team. I didn't know about second.
But I have no idea because here's what I'm in my mind how I'm looking at this game. Grambling coming off a big win. They lost their quarterback. They spent a lot of energy, and it's hard to get up twice, even though they're at home. Alabama A&M didn't show up at all against their rival game and got blown out the stadium.
Yeah.
And now they got to go on the road. So it's almost a 50-50 game to me because I don't know if Alabama A&M can look like they did early in the season. The last couple of weeks, they haven't looked very good. So Grambling in the hole at home, even though I don't think they're going to look the same as they did against Jackson State, because I just think they probably physically, emotionally spent from that game. but they'll win a close one.
Okay. You say Grambling will win this close?
Yeah, at home.
Yeah. That's the only edge I have in this game is Grambling being at home. But I agree with you. 50-50 game. I got to go with the home team, getting to sleep in your own bed and not have to travel on buses. Yeah, give me Grambling. All right. I guess this might be game of the year 1B. Well, we'll find out. Alabama State coming after a big win in the Magic City Classic, taking on first place Prairie View A&M, unbeaten in SWAC play, 4-0, winners of 5 straight, 5-game winning streak, longest winning streak in the SWAC. The statistics, I think this is a number 1 offense versus number 1 defense. It is. Alabama State, number 1 offense in terms of points scored, averaging 41.9. Prairie View, number 1 in points allowed, 17.3. In terms of yardage, Prairie View is number 1 defensively. Alabama State is number 2. So let's just go ahead and call it what it is, Kelvin. Number 1 offense versus number 1 defense. Prairie View's at home. What's your thoughts?
I'm just not a believer in Prairie View. I think their schedule has been good. We talked about the win they squeaked out against Alcorn. We talked about the last second win at the first game of the season against Texas Southern, which is a good thing. I mean, that's the way Southern won the West last year, right? Just finding ways to win. So it's not a bad thing, but Andrew Body coming back home to his home state.
Oh, that's right.
And Alabama State rolling, and with that offense, I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up. And I don't think they face the kind of offense they're going to be facing on Saturday. So I like Alabama State at least by 2 touchdowns personally, but we'll see.
Wow, 2 touchdowns. Woo. I mean, are you looking at a high-scoring game? I mean, is Alabama State breaking the ceiling with points? I mean, I haven't.
I mean, they averaging what, 41 points a game?
41. They have put up.
They put up 30-something even on Jackson.
They have put up 30+ in every game this year. 30+ points in every game, even in the 2 losses.
Yeah, I'm not. I gotta go with them by 2 touchdowns, buddy.
Do they score 30?
You got to show me. Prairie View got to show me.
Man,
I don't think Prairie View scored 30.
Strong take.
Well, that's my take.
I mean, they may not be able. Look, Prairie View may not be able to score with them. That's the problem. Yeah, I like that play. I'm going to Alabama State too. As much as we need Prairie View to win this game. Let's just keep that. Let's be real about that. We need Prairie View to win this game, folks. Rattler Nation. But it's a tall task.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe if Coach Jackson buys some extra tickets and invites the whole city of Houston, maybe they'll sell out that Panther Stadium and get a good crowd. That's a damn shame. It's beautiful campus. Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful facilities. Absolutely. Yeah.
Can't get anybody to come. But anyway, their problem. Their problem. Okay. Let me get my other graphic prepared here.
Charles. I think we didn't. It bounced back. Yeah, it bounced back. The link.
Yeah, Kelvin was in charge of booking the guests, and he must have lost your email, Chuck. He told me he lost your email, and by the time I found it, the show had already started. He didn't tell me that he had lost it. All right. Well, all right, here we go. Jackson State week. Here we go. 7 o'clock Eastern. You can listen. It's an ESPN Plus TV game. But, of course, you can listen to it on 96.1 Jams, the Rattler Football Network, with myself and Albert Chester.
I like that picture.
I do, too. That's a heck of a picture. That's why I picked it. Great picture, man. Poor official, man. I hope that dude is okay. Because that guy took one on that one.
I hope he works this game because look like he helped make that tackle.
You know, the beauty of the picture is you can't really tell. Like, I feel like he ran through us. They ran through us a lot in that game. But, yeah, you know, anyway. All right. Let's go to your thoughts on this game, Kelvin. What's it going to take? What's your prediction, so on and so forth?
3 weeks ago, we were in a totally different mind space. But going into this game, I do think we found an identity offensively. And what we do well matches up with what JSU doesn't do as well defensively. They have a pretty stout front seven still. The secondary is definitely the weakest part of their team on defense. And watching Grambling, watching Alabama State, there's some film out there now of how you can attack them. And we've shown, I think, that we have the personnel to attack them, providing we execute like we have offensively over the last 2 weeks. My concern is, one, I really believe special teams is going to be a really important part of this game. We know we have a kicker who's been kicking 50, 51 yards the last couple of games, kicked 5 field goals and then 2 field goals. So we know we have a strength there. If we get in red zone and it does stall out, we still can count on points. But I think this is a game we got to score 7. I don't think field goals are gonna do us any good because I think our path to win this game is a semi shootout. I think again the threshold for us is gonna be about 30 points, and I think we have to reach that to win it. I'm concerned about our punt and kick coverage. Our kicker, Porto, he does kick the ball in the end zone most of the time on kickoffs. But when he did not, and when he does not, we have some coverage challenges. And we know the threat that JSU presents. Also, from a defensive standpoint for FAMU, we're giving up 30 points a game without creating turnovers, and we know the weapons that JSU has, particularly with the receiving core. We know Nate Rembert and the damage he did last year when he was with Valley. So I am really concerned about whether we see an improvement. We our defense have had spurts. Well, they played good for a quarter, but they have not played well for a game. And this is a game that that we need them to play well for the entire game. And more importantly, we get in leads, not to give the lead right back or give up a drive right back. That is concerning. But they're gonna have a young quarterback. And regardless of his talent level, I do think he'll be talented, but This is his first start. We got something to play for. They got something to play for. And this game has traditionally, outside of that 1 year, has been a very competitive game. And so I see it pretty much like last year's game, to be honest, at this point, without JSU defense not quite as good as last year. Our offense not quite as good as last year, but it was still a game that was decided in the last minutes. And so I'm thinking this probably would be similar. Until I see our defense and our punt coverage team do it against top competition, because we hadn't even done it against bottom competition. I'm gonna go with JSU by a touchdown.
Wow. Kelvin, JSU by a touchdown, huh? This is what I would hope I see. The fact that they do have a young quarterback and that they are the number one rushing team in the SWAC, averaging 256.9 per game. Now that's overall. Let me go look at in conference though. Oh yeah, guess what? They're number 2 in conference, right behind Alabama State. So guess what they do, folks? They run the ball. We have played with that 3-man front. Okay, follow me here. If you may disagree with me, but I feel like our strategy against Alcorn State, I liked it because we knew we were going up against Jacorian Sewell. We were going up against a team that was heavy run. And I thought we did a great job of focusing on him. The problem was their quarterback got outside and, he made some plays. I'm asking a lot, Kelvin, hoping that we put more pressure on the quarterback this game because we haven't. We gave that Southern quarterback way too much time, and he is not nearly as good or fleet of foot as the 3 or 4 previous quarterbacks that we had played. But what he did have was time, and that's because of the defense that we played. I'm hoping, I don't know if it's Colsey calling the plays or if it's Williams or one of the other, I don't know, whoever's calling the plays. I hope that we can be creative enough in this game and send some different looks at a freshman, a young man who, even if they go and look at our film, we got to be able to make him, that old phrase somebody said, quarterback said, all I saw was ghost. I don't know if we got a Bill Belichick type defensive coordinator or not, or mindset, or even personnel. But I would hope that we can be throwing some different looks at this young man every play. Throw him a different look and make him uncomfortable. And I want to see 6, 7 in the box, to be honest. We've been playing man coverage I know it sounds crazy, Kelvin. We've been playing man coverage all season. We ain't going to come out of that.
Remember, Terrell, their weapons outside are the most dangerous. I'm worried more about explosive plays and getting blown out early than I am about the run game. I'm just being frank.
I just don't.
What I would tell you though, Bryan, and you were there against Southern, 75 yards, 75-yard drive, 91-yard drive, 56-yard drive.
Yeah.
But
those were the long drives. I mean, we balanced that out though, Kelvin. Yes, those were long drives, but we did balance them out. So we weren't consistent enough. We were a 50-50 ball club on those drives by Southern.
We playing a better team.
Yeah, we are.
So we're better skill, more speed. So I believe we can do it. I'm saying it's a competitive game, but until I seen this team be competitive against a good team and actually do it, I can't pick us as an analyst.
Well, I can't. You're right. I can't. I don't even know what the number is. I got a feeling. Let me see. Jack, who was it? Who we played? Was it Texas? Was North Carolina Central? North Carolina Central was a 12 point favorite on the road. We were 12.5 point favorites at home. Against Alabama State, we were 7.5 point underdogs at home. So I'm anticipating without Jacoby and Morgan, we'll probably be somewhere in the middle, maybe a 10-point underdog. I think we can cover the 10.5. Remains to be seen if we can win. Again, too many unknowns. Too many unknowns. I do like your special teams take though, Kelvin. And I think if Porto can, and is it really Porto or is it more so going to be Bobby Inksler with our punting game? Because if you think about it, what are we more likely to do in this game? Punt or kick? I would tend to think
we only punted twice last week, and we averaged 51 yards.
Well,
but unfortunately, one of them was returned pretty good.
Well,
like I said, I think we're gonna move the ball. I think we're gonna put up some points. Like I said, I don't doubt that part of it. But this is a game where we can't burn timeouts at uselessly.
Oh man, that's gone. You hoping
game,
that if you're hoping for that, then we're in trouble. Because I'm telling you, just gonna use them. We're gonna use them like a fat kid in the candy store that's just hungry to buy candy, Kelvin.
If we up in the fourth quarter and it's 4th and 1 at midfield and we don't punt, I'm just saying.
Don't worry about them timeouts, man. Them timeouts.
I keep receipts.
Yeah, keep receipts because them timeouts, man.
This kind of game,
value.
Those things. Yeah, this kind of game, those things gonna matter though. The details, the little things are gonna matter when you try to put upset.
But he calls those timeouts because he has a young team and he's trying to keep them out of worse possessions.
I hear you, but this game, that ain't gonna work.
So you would rather take the loss on yardage than call the timeout?
Yeah. It's a situation, but yeah, sometimes you got to do that. Or just, how about this? How about get the plays in time?
Well, that's optimal. Yes, that is ideally what you want to do.
Execute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, ideally, yes, that's what you want to do.
If that means you got to script out your plays in certain situations, so you ain't thinking about it, then do that. But we got to be on point. Our coaching has to be on point. Our game management has to be on point.
All right. Let's try not to have any what I'm going to call dumb penalties this game. No dumb, no like.
He won't experience that, then he might. That's every game.
Touche. That was good. Touche. That's good. Oh, I knew you. I knew I opened the door on that one. Okay. All right. What's your bold prediction? You can't say win either. You can't say win. A win is not a bold prediction. Even though it is a bold prediction.
I didn't predict us to win, so.
Well, I'm saying that's why I just said what's your bold prediction? So you can't say win. Let's keep it player-based.
Okay, so my bold prediction is that the defense will create 3 turnovers. That's bold for our defense.
You said they get 3 turnovers?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Man, that's a good one. That's solid. I like that. I don't know what the number of sacks we've had this season. Bold prediction, 4+ sacks. I mean, that's what I feel like it's going to take. It's going to have to take something like that.
Yeah. And I'm worried about having that spy on that quarterback, because this quarterback is a lot more mobile. But my biggest concern, I told you about special teams, and I told you about the defense being the protected lead. Fourth quarter, I know Jackson State gonna remain calm, and they're gonna keep coming just like they did against Grambling. I don't know if our team and our staff can do that until they show that. That's my key. We kind of fumbled our way last week into it and got away with it. We really got away with it last week. So I really need to see improvement from that, because I'm predicting a close game. I just don't know if we can close the game out. That's my concern.
Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about, Marvin. We finally scored in the second half. There you go. That's a good one. I love that. Because you're right. I think right now we are 0 for 4 in the second half, scoring a touchdown. That's scoring a touchdown in the second half. That's a good one, Marvin. Let's see. Kickoff return, touchdown, 2 big punt returns. Okay. I love it. I love it. Come on, get your bold predictions in, guys. Just a couple more minutes, and then we're going to close it out. So bold predictions. Anything that you would advise people of, if we got Jackson State folks who are watching, who are coming in, what kind of traveler's guide to Tallahassee would you give our visitors from Jackson, Mississippi, Kelvin?
Well, the first thing is Florida State plays 30 minutes after our kickoff. Our kickoff is at 7. Florida State is at 7:30. There's literally like a mile and a half between the two stadiums.
Okay. So
traffic could be very congested trying to get to the stadium. It's Florida State homecoming. I know they're pretty upset right now. But
well, they didn't. Why are they playing that? Why? I thought they were going to go with an earlier game. What, night game?
It's a night game.
Damn, that's cold.
So I would say try to come over to the south side 3 hours in advance, because that's when they close the roads and start directing traffic 3 hours before kickoff. So you might want to make your way over, start making your way over about 4. Our gates open 2 hours before kickoff, so the gates open at 5 anyway. Perry Street is there. There's plenty of vendors, plenty of food, merchandise, all that good stuff. You need to, you want to find a park. So that'll be my first thing. Also, the weather's gonna be a little chilly. It's a night kickoff, so the lows Saturday I think supposed to be in the low 40s. So bring long sleeve, bring a light jacket, because it's gonna be a little nippy in Tallahassee on Saturday. Outside of that, come enjoy it. Should be a dynamic atmosphere. I know Rally Nation, we pretty excited. We feeling good about our team right now and trending. Both bands gonna be there. We already have a dynamic game day environment. We know JSU coming down and gonna contribute to that. We'll have some guests. We'll have some guests coming over to the tailgate. Some JSU guests. So come and enjoy the atmosphere. That's about it.
All right. Marvin, where is the Monroe? Them salmon bites. That sounds good. Where is that at?
On Monroe. South Monroe.
Oh, South Monroe. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out. Put me on to something. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I liked your idea about getting there early. I was thinking about it myself. Thinking about getting on campus by 3, just in case, So
yeah,
sooner the better.
I'll be there setting up the tailgate around that time.
Yeah. So find us over on the west side, right there by the
press box,
right underneath the press
elevator.
box.
Yeah,
right by the press box elevators. Are we expecting a sellout? Hell yeah. That's our expectation. I mean, I don't know what happens.
You don't never hear our coach talking about, where my line?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. You don't have to beg us to show up.
Yeah, no, the fans will be there, the students will be there, the 100 will be there, the boom will be there, the J sets will be there. This is going to be HBCU football excellence at its finest. I expect the Rattlers to play a great game on Saturday. And if you're in town, don't forget volleyball Friday night against Alabama State. Big game in the Lawson Center at 6:00. And then on Sunday at noon against Alabama A&M. So it's a good weekend in Tallahassee to support our championship volleyball program and our championship football program as well. Gonna shock the world, change the game right here on Saturday, folks. So exactly. Where them fans at? Exactly. All right, that's gonna do it for tonight's show. Appreciate you guys. Thanks to Doc Holliday. HBCU Overdrive is the name of the show and the channel. Make sure to give him some love and show him some support. Let him know you appreciate him coming on the show tonight. Hopefully some of our canceled guests will be with us next week. Hopefully. But we keep grinding as we do. And exactly, Joe Bullard is back on the velvety voice of Joe Bullard will be back on the microphone this upcoming Saturday. As it's I think they'll be recognizing and celebrating his 50 years with the 100 somehow, some way. So yeah. All right, folks, that's going to do it. Make sure to follow all of the our ONG StrikeZone feeds on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Make sure to check out the BCSN Pod Zone everywhere that you listen to and subscribe. Download BCSN Pod Zone on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, so on and so forth. And hit the thumbs up and the like button as you guys head out the door. Safe travels out on the road to Tallahassee or wherever you may be going to watch some HBCU football this weekend. Support your school.
Leave the monkeys in Mississippi now. Don't bring them with you.
For Kelvin Rozier, I'm Bryan Fulford. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And Fangs up. And this weekend, we're going to strike, and strike again. Shock the world, baby. It's happening. Speak it into existence. Peace out.
Color green.